Urban Guilds by Lauren Boucher and Jackson Cody. Essential questions. How did the guild system work? What were the disadvantages of not being in a guild? And what were the arguments against guilds? Urban guilds in Europe. Urban guilds originated in Europe around the 1200s and peaked in the 17th and 18th centuries. Now, during this time period, Finance Minister Jean-Baptiste Colbert revived the guilds, insisting that everything the French people needed should be provided by the French industry. Urban guilds were seen as a way to boost product quality standards and also as a way to collect taxes. All of this resulted in extensive growth in the number of guilds in Paris, from 60 guilds to 129. How guilds work. Guilds collected taxes from their members, they kept quality standards and order among the trades, and overall the guilds represented the interests of the industry and commerce to the ruling governments. Each craft, such as carpentry or smithing, would have a guild in its town. Each guild had a group of guild masters to lead it, and guilds had exclusive rights to their trade work. In order to make sure that there was enough work for each member, guild membership was restricted to local, respectable Christian men and only men. They had to have years of work experience, pay a set membership fee, and complete a masterpiece. Family connections were also favored in this trade, and a guild's power was rooted in their numbers and relationship with the ruling government. Advantages of guilds. Guilds provided a central sense of unity among the middle classes of Europe. The members of French guilds obtained rights to produce and sell certain goods, they gained access to raw materials of restricted markets, and they had rights to train apprentices, hire workers, and open new shops in their areas. Disadvantages of guilds were that guilds were exclusive. If one did not meet their standards and requirements, they were excluded from their craft, no matter how talented. There were set standards and prices that did not allow for competition to benefit consumers, and guilds often favored tradition over progress within their trade. Resistance to guilds. Guilds were reliant on taxes and the enforcing of quality standards in France, yet this government continuously allowed non-guild production to flourish. In a suburb of Paris, Faubourg Saint-Antoine, it was considered a haven for non-guild workers and provided freedom from guild privileges. In England, government regulations often exceeded the power from guilds and took this power from them, and in the 18th century, guild critics declared that they were outmoded, exclusionary, and impediments to technical innovations and progress. Anne Robert Jacques Turgot. He was a French reform minister who greatly opposed the establishment of guilds, believing they blocked all women and struggling men from working, and overall blocked economic and social prosperity. He passed a law in 1776 abolishing French guilds, but this law was repealed a year later. Then the French Revolution ended up bringing an end to guilds in France, yet again 15 years later. Adam Smith. Adam Smith was known as the father of capitalism. He was a leading figure of the Scottish Enlightenment and a well-known critic of government regulation of industry. Smith criticized guilds for having stifling and outmoded restrictions. He believed in free competition. He believed that the living conditions of citizens would improve in the pursuit of self-interest in a competitive market. This is known as economic liberalism. He also argued that the government should only have 3 duties: providing defense against foreign invasion, maintaining civil order with courts and police protection, and sponsoring certain indispensable public works and institutions that could never adequately profit private investors. These ideas all went against the establishment of guilds, whose exclusiveness allowed the advancement of only a few in society. Many countries, especially Great Britain, embraced his ideas. Main ideas. Guilds are a huge presence in urban Europe in the 17th and 18th centuries. Guilds were good for members, but not for many other people among the population. Benefits and unity for members, restrictions and laws against non members. Some found ways around these guild laws, and others fought for the abolishment of guilds. But by the 19th century, guilds lost their power in much of Europe. Essential answers. Guilds are groups of craftsmen led by masters that regulate and control all of the production and sale of their product in their town. In order to practice the craft, you must be in the guild. Outsiders of the very exclusive guilds were forced to abandon their craft or find work elsewhere and oftentimes lived much poorer than a guild member. Many argue that guilds impeded economic progress and left too many skilled craftsmen without work. Also, Adam Smith argued that guilds took away the element of competition that pushes progress in a society.